Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars.
President Trump is the president of peace.
President of peace.
President of peace.
We have a president who's a president of peace.
President of peace.
The president of peace. President of peace. President of peace. President of peace.
We are going to end foreign wars.
He will end the wars.
No more
Stupid wars.
President Trump has pledged to end wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
Trump will stop the wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
Zero new wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
No new wars.
Trump will stop the wars instantly.
No new wars. No new wars.
No new wars.
He not only didn't start any new wars.
It turns out that I'm the peace president.
Peace president.
Peace president. Peace president.
Peace president.
You are the peace president.
Peace
president.
President Trump sees himself and in fact is a peace president.
President Trump is a peacemaker.
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 The president tried to nuke Iran Saturday night, but top-ranking military official in the room, Dan Kane, stopped him.
Try to deal with it. And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground.
But it makes a lot of fucking sense considering all of the symptoms that he's displayed over the last several months. He's a malignant narcissist with frontotemporal dementia that is also in the middle of narcissistic collapse. He will do anything to keep from being exposed as a fraud.
Greetings, my BPPN family. Welcome to Bold Perspectives Network. I'm Mr. Red. Now, as you saw in the opening clips, Donald Trump has claimed to be the peace president. And I wanted you to hear the propaganda machine behind this thought. As you can see, and as we know, the Republican Party is actually good at one thing, and that's messaging. The Republican Party is great at all being exactly on the same cue. And when it comes to Trump not starting no new wars, not calling this what we're in a war, they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. But you have to understand, the majority of their base aren't very smart people. Anybody still following this man at this point, there's something wrong with you, just like there's something wrong with him. He was willing to use the nuclear options on Iran. Had someone not stopped him, his proclivity would have been to destroy a nation. And not only that, you need to understand something. If we use the nuclear option, others are going to use that same option on us. And nobody will think twice about it, because we will have done the most horrible thing. And the only way to stop us would be to stop us. Today, I want to show you a couple clips that I have of some reporting that shows that Trump right now wants to go full dictator. Everything that he's doing right now is of that of a malignant narcissist. And as his dementia gets worse, his worst proclivities are going to come out. You know, like wanting to use the nuclear option, like wanting to jail his political opponents like James Comey. All of these things show that Trump is taking us into full-blown dictatorship, authoritarianism, and we should be concerned about it. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
We have some news right now. Privately, Donald Trump is now focused on becoming one of history's, quote, great men. New reporting from The Atlantic reveals that Trump no longer considers himself an equal to presidents like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. He's actually focused on becoming someone like Napoleon, Julius Caesar. This is real. I'm not making this up. Trump is focusing on becoming one of history's great men and thinks that presidents like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln he doesn't view himself as an equal to anymore. This theory of great men comes from George William Friedrich Hegel's readings. And The Atlantic is reporting that Trump is focused on trying to become potentially the fourth quote-unquote great leader in history after Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and Napoleon Bonaparte.
That right there, that thinking that Donald Trump has, that he is above or better than past presidents. Again, this goes to the diagnoses that many people have made that this man is a malignant narcissist. And if we are to believe some of the reports that have come from the Epstein files, then this man also has sociopathic tendencies as well. But that would also fall under malignant narcissist, that he has no empathy and all he cares about is himself. You all listening to this probably already know that. For this man to want to include himself as a great leader, as someone known as one of the greats, this right here, this should not be the thinking of an American president in a so-called democracy. But that's the thing. Trump doesn't view this as a democracy. He wants to be a dictator. That's why he's always had a fascination with the Kim Jong-uns and the Putins and the leaders in the Middle East, some of those leaders, or the Orban of Hungary, who actually just lost a seat. He even thinks himself greater than that. I wouldn't even be surprised if Trump didn't think himself greater than the King of England when he just visited him. I mean, he's a narcissist. It would not shock me. I mean, it makes sense now why Trump is trying to put his name on these buildings, trying to build an Arc de Trump for himself. He's doing all these things in grandizement to himself. And MAGA that's remaining, they're still just eating it up because they worship him. Then Trump is displaying more and more traits of the quote-unquote Antichrist. He's not even hiding it anymore. And now there's a push there's legislation that's actually out there to push more of Trump's narcissistic desires.
We have some news right now. There are currently more than 8 pieces of legislation pending in front of the United States House of Representatives introduced by Republicans to honor Donald Trump. Let's go through that. This is what they're focused on instead of lowering costs right now. First, to carve his face into Mount Rushmore. Second, to rename the Palm Beach Airport after Trump. Third, rename the Dulles Airport after Trump. Third, require the State Department to award a Trump Peace Prize. Fourth, declare Donald Trump's birthday a federal holiday. Fifth, award Trump a Congressional Gold Medal. Sixth, mint a $250 bill in U.S. currency with Donald Trump's image on it. Seventh, several resolutions urging Trump to get the Nobel Peace Prize still. And eighth, directing the NIH to conduct research on Trump derangement syndrome. This list was compiled by my friend and colleague Scott McFarlane, and well, they're all pending in front of the Republican House of Representatives right now.
I want you to let that sink in. I actually kind of find it funny that Trump continues to want to get that Nobel Peace Prize. And y'all know why he wants to get that Nobel Peace Prize, right? He wants to get that Nobel Peace Prize because in his deluded brain, he feels like if Obama could get the Nobel Peace Prize, then he is a better man than Obama. There is no way he's going to let this black man get the Nobel Peace Prize and he doesn't have it. It makes sense why Trump continues to, in the latest post, he shows that the Lincoln Monument, the water there, that it's all brown and murky when Obama was president, but under himself, it's going to be clean and pristine. And he continuously compares himself to Obama. Everything is about Obama. And you know why? Because just like we've always said, this man is a racist. Not only a narcissist, but a racist. And there is no way that this black man is going to be able to one-up him, be better than him. And so this is something that he wants to hang his head on. You have to understand, this man is closer to death than he is to living. And he's trying to make sure that people know his greatness. That's narcissistic tendencies right there. Something is wrong with this man. And we need to take this seriously, because a man whose thinking is this limited, this narrowly focused, how is he fit to run the country? Let me give you the answer to that. He's not.
We have some news right now. The official White House government account is now calling Donald Trump a king.
Thank you, White House, for proving me right. There is going to be a revolution. Come November, if there's any interference in a free, fair election, it's going to be a revolution. Because this is the last thing that's going to stand in the way of ensuring our democracy lives. Seriously. All right? If not, there's going to be a revolution. I'm going to tell you why. People can't live. People are embarrassed. The people who voted for you, they're embarrassed. They lost friends and family over this bullshit. And while they're embarrassed, they're not going to really let people know how they feel. They're waiting for other people to get involved so they can blend in. But why is this so significant? Well, if you look at history, 1774, who were the people liberating themselves from? A queen and a king, yes? And the White House just called Donald Trump king. So the people in this nation is going to liberate itself from this government, this king, yes? And I think this is why things are happening the way it's happening. Because if this government did away with capitalism and replacing it with a more compassionate outlook on taking care of people, with the technology, the medicine, and the science we have, we could have created a utopia to ensure that everyone can live, everyone could be happy, and no one would need nothing but a walk in the park or something like that. And until that happens, there's always going to be a revolution. So, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Come November, if the right thing don't happen, the wrong thing will.
Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.